Over the past 25 years, I've helped thousands of businesses improve their systems, processes, and over time, I've helped write and implement thousands of standard operating procedures for my own businesses as well as for my clients. In this video, we're going to learn the 7 proven step formula to writing foolproof standard operating procedures, or what we call SOPs. So here you can steal it, apply it, right? Put your own business system in place. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to avoid those common mistakes that most people make when creating their SOPs, which results them in not being used, right? Not being followed correctly. So let's get into it. Imagine everything you needed was at your fingertips. No more searching through the Google Docs, no more losing content, no more thinking, what was I thinking when I filed that, right? Or when a member leaves, the system goes with it. Early in my career, I learned from the systems master, Michael Gerber. He's the godfather of building a sellable company. I didn't know at the time I would end up selling multiple companies based on that strategy that he taught me from the very beginning. It's been a game changer, so I want to share that with you. The first thing you want to do is you want to create a template. Let's face it, creating SOPs from scratch every single time is like reinventing the wheel when you're driving a luxury car. Templates are the secret weapon to working smarter, not harder. They bring order to chaos. They save you time. They save time from pulling your hair out and making you look like you're an organizational genius. And you know what? We are. Think of them like our GPS for your team. Clear, reliable, always getting everyone on the same page without the U-turns. With templates, you can ditch the guesswork, avoid costly mistakes, and free up your brain power for bigger things, like crushing your financial goals and sipping the well-earned latte. So start with a solid SOP template to make your process smoother and easier. Decide on the structure that you want the template to follow, but keep it simple and user-friendly. A standard SOP format includes sections like the title, the objective, the scope, the responsibilities, step-by-step instructions, review date, right? Open your favorite tool, whether it's Word, Google Docs, a project management application, right? And create these headings to build your skeleton. Add some visual appeal using bold titles, clean fonts, consistent spacing. Insert your logo, your company branding. Make it wow. Because why not make it look polished? Save it as a reusable template, file it when you're ready to conquer your SOPs like a pro. Number 2, you want to choose your SOP topic, right? You want to pick your task that you need to look at. What do I need to put a system in place for? Avoid creating SOPs that are unnecessary tasks and focus on processes you frequently use. And I want to just share some of the top SOPs that we use when we're scaling a business, right? For sustainable growth. One is onboarding people, a step-by-step outline for how do I do a welcome an employee, right? How do I welcome in clients? You want to include documents, training, scripts, schedule, key contacts. 2, when you're hiring and recruiting, how do you do it? How do you post jobs? How do you screen candidates? What's the interviews you do? 1, 2, and 3, right? Include multiple compliance labor laws, an agenda for that. 3, your sales process. You've got to have an SOP for this, right? Your lead generation, qualification, pitching, closing, deals, follow-up, right? Includes these templates like proposals and your CRM management guidelines. Another great one is your client onboarding guidelines. How do you bring them into your culture? How do they bring them into your environment? What's the welcome email look like? What's the documentation look like? Number 5 is financial management SOPs. This defines the process of your invoicing, expenses, tracking, budgeting, financial reporting, your guidelines. These are all imperative to your success. Your marketing campaign SOPs, like what does your creative brief look like? What are we managing? What are the KPIs we're managing? How do we create content, right? Let's put some performance metrics around those. Your workflows, describe how day-to-day tasks are performed, delegated, monitored. I love checklists, right? This allows me to just put the checklist down and follow that. Look at your customer support SOP. We want to define how inquiries are handled. How do you handle your support tickets? What happens when you escalate it? What's your expected response time, right? Your IT and your data. This covers protocol, managing the company's hardware, software, data, backups, password management, right? Cyber attacks. What do you do with all that? performance reviews. You want your guides, your processes. How do you conduct these meetings, right? Setting goals, including templates and feedback. With these SOPs in place, scaling companies will have your operational backbone handled without sacrificing quality or efficiency. So the next step inside of all this is we have to define responsibility. The number one missing thing that I see in creating SOPs or having a successful role is that accountability, right? So nobody gets lost, right? And we're not stepping on everybody else's toes, right? You've got to eliminate the dreaded "I thought you were doing it" excuse. When responsibilities are well defined, work flows smoothly, deadlines are met, teams operate like a well-oiled machine. Without accountability, you're setting your business up for failure. Assign the roles, right? Who's going to be that SOP owner, right? If I have subject matter experts and influencers, how do we write those SOPs? Owners should ideally be someone who does this task often and understands the power of that system. We want to record the SOP, write it down the SOP. At Herringstone's, we have a $5 million retail chain. We spent an entire year unlocking a treasure trove of SOPs, getting it out of their head and putting it on paper, right? We got the founders to get clear on their job responsibilities. So everyone had one role versus everyone doing everything. And what's happened because of that is everyone's aligned, right? We have more consistency. We have higher profitability. There's no more guesswork. So when it comes to documenting your SOPs, there's some great approaches, right? Write it down, type it up, use a video like this, whatever methodology works for you as a leader. And if you're not good at it, let's hire it out. You don't have to do everything, be all everything, right? You can hire other people to do it, right? Get recorded and then have it transcribed. Use tools like Loom or Google Meet or Berrycast, right? Something that allows you. Use ChatGPT to help you format a transcript, right? If you're not using AI, you're missing the boat. This method captures nuances, especially helpful for complex hand-on processes. For long-term success, I recommend writing the SOP because get it in the foundation in place and we can always tweak it. We can always evolve it. But with the foundation in place, now you're not just building stores, you're building a scalable empire. We want to start the outline with your key steps to creating that. Killer SOPs is like writing a really great recipe, right? There's a clear start and stop. Everybody knows where that process is. And then everybody knows when to pop the champagne, right? We start the scene, the customer's places are in order, right? Stops, and then tie it all in a bow. Ordered and delivered customers doing the happy dance. This clarifies and eliminates confusion and keeps your team running like a well-oiled machine. Now keep it snappy, break the processes into chunks, right? Nobody wants to read a War and Peace novel while they're trying to ship an order, right? Or doing a big hairy task. Go modular, split it into little tiny sections, right? Your SOPs allow people to quickly execute that role, right? And you might mix and match. Once I build one SOP, then I can scale it for all the other SOPs, right? We want to define its purpose and what's the value of crafting that SOP. If people don't know what the purpose is, they won't follow and execute it, right? Outputs are like hosting a party without knowing where you're going to celebrate. You need to know what success looks like when it's done, right? So start out with a crystal clear purpose of why this SOP needs to be in place and how will it help the team. Then you want to look at what tools will we need to knock this out of the park. Finally, we want to look at tangible results that scream mission accomplished. Keep it short, sharp, laser focused so everyone gets what's needed and everyone knows what's expected and everyone knows what winning looks like. No fluff. We don't need a lot of words. We just need specific and measurable results, right? And then add some FAQs if that's important. Find out what are the frequently asked questions and then fill in those details. Have your team take that SOP and try to implement it without your feedback, right? I notice I have a lot in my brain and I forget to write it on paper, right? So you don't need to create a masterpiece. We just need to get something down, right? We want to look at each section and tackle any hiccups or questions that come up. I started all my SOPs just with checklists, right? What needs to happen? What's step 1? What's step 2? What's step 3? We want to focus on the clarity and the practicality over fluff. right? We want to allow our team to evolve and then them add to those SOPs. It is a living, breathing document. It's not static. You will always improve upon it, right? Which is our final step, use and improve. The real magic of a SOP happens when you use and improve. Put that SOP to the test, use it in real time, stack it up against the actual process. If it feels clunky and misses the mark, tweak it again until it sings. Encourage your team to weigh in and give their comments. After all, they're the one implementing it in the trenches, right? Leverage your versions of history in tools like Google Docs, Asana, Trello. Those are great places to house your SOPs, right? But most importantly, you want to foster a culture of innovation by empowering your team to suggest improvements that streamline and supercharge the process. A great SOP, like I said, is a living, breathing document. It's not in a stone tablet. So now you know how to write a quick SOP and an SOP that works so that you can improve your systems, you can delegate tasks, you can free up your time. If you love this, click on the video if you want to learn the steps to building a multi-million-dollar business. This is a step-by-step process that I've used for countless businesswomen to grow their businesses. And if you run a business doing multiple 6 or 7 figures and you want some help in growing your business to $5 or $10 million, then click on the link below, right? And get a free business assessment. If you learned something for this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And if you know somebody needs this video, share it with them. Until next time, Dr. Susie Carter, your profit coach. Remember, you're in business for yourself, not by yourself.